this is the time where we perform the demonstration of Application Gateway. In previous videos, we have covered a lot of theory about all the load balancers and in particular Application Gateway. So in today's video, we are only covering the demonstration part. And to make it a little interesting, we are not just using as a load balancer, but we'll be trying to establish URL-based, path-based routing. Okay, so let's get started. The prerequisite that I have prepared for this demonstration is I have this VM where it says this is my images VM, Pachehra Talks. I have installed the IIS configuration and put this HTML page under the images folder. And I have this VM, which is a part of availability set, and it is the default page. It says default page. Okay. Now, just wanted to tell you, creation of application gateway takes little longer than a usual load balancer. Not exactly little longer, but it takes a while, like 20 to 25 minutes. So let's go to the configuration and see what happens. So it's asking for the resource group as usual, name. Let's give it a name, App Gateway Test 2. We have the machines in Australia East. We all know about these tiers, standard V2, WAF V2. These are the version 2. Which recently got generally available with more features. We talked about that. And standard and WAF are the old one, but they're still there. These two can be zonal, but these two not. And we have auto scaling in standard V2. If I select standard V2, you see auto scaling. You need not to do anything manually, but if I select standard, you see you need to provide the count, and this queue size is medium, small, or large. But if we see the V2, this is the facility provided. It's auto scaling. As per the requirement, it will increase and decrease the backend instance count, and we need not to worry about it, and we will not even get the information like the instance are getting high or low. WAF is for the application firewall. Okay. We already covered that thing, so let's go ahead and focus on the demonstration because it will consume a lot of time. So let's do the one. We only need one instance count. We always need a virtual network because this gateway would be placed inside the virtual network. Let's select the virtual network. Now it is asking for the subnet. Always remember this subnet would always carry the application gateway. If you have created application gateway in that subnet, you would not be able to add any other VM or NIC or anything except app gateways. I have already created the app gateway just to save the time, so which is in the same subnet. That's why I can create another gateway in the same subnet, but not anything else. No NVA, nothing. So front end, we all know where the request comes, the front end. Private is for the private gateway, no public IPs, internal, but let's work on the public. Let's create one more IP here, app gateway PIP2. Okay, oh, my bad, app gateway PIP2. Okay. Now this is the front end we configured. Now it's time to configure the backend pools. Okay, like where the request will fall eventually from the gateway, from the front end of the gateway to the backend. So give it a name. Let's call it default and give it the name of the virtual machine which has the default page, VM2. I showed you VM2, this page, default page. Add it. we can add another backend pool where we will divert the traffic on the base of URL or path-based routing. We can call it images. And we have uh, images VM where the things are running inside the images. Means we would have images in the URL. Okay, let's go to the configuration. We have set the front end, we have set the back end. It's time to configure. Okay, it's time to configure the rule along with the relevant informations. So click on rule and you'll find the things that I'm talking about. Okay, it's asking for the rule name. Let's call it rule demo, or let's call it demo rule. It's asking for a listener. Use a descriptive name for your listener. You won't be able to edit the name once the application gateway has been created. Okay, listener is the where actually it listens, the front end. It's a combination of a protocol, front end IP, and front end port. Okay, so let's give it a demo listener. Front end IP is this public. See, it's a combination of front end IP, protocol, and the port. We'll listen on the port 80. All right. Now we need to add the backend targets. We have created the two pools, if you remember. Let's put the default is the one where all the requests will be diverted, and it's asking for the HTTP setting. What is HTTP setting? Where actually the traffic falls, and it decides, it configures how traffic is routed, how traffic is routed to the backend members, including port, protocol, cookie-based affinity, probe, and timed out, those kind of things. So let's create one and you would understand what I'm talking about. So demo HTTP setting. Backend port till listener, it was all front end setting. Now it is the backend setting. On the backend port 80, it will go. The traffic would route like this. I can choose for the cookie based affinity. For a demo, it's okay to be disabled. Connection training, it's okay to be disabled. And we already covered this in the previous video. So without wasting any more time, let's click add. No. All right. So this part is done, but we need to use this intelligent routing. So let's say if images appear in any of the URL, it should fall under rule to demo, and same setting will work, but the backend target would be images, not the default. Click add, click add. Now all the configuration is done. We have touched all the configuration that is required during the configuration of the application gateway. Next is tags, review, and create. But the thing is, it takes a lot of time. So what I did, I already configured an application gateway with the same settings that we were doing here. Okay, so let's go to this application gateway. This is the app gateway, and this is the setting. You can see under the configuration, we have same standard, medium. WAF we did not utilize, we are not enabling here as well. Backend pool, images and default, same setting. HTTP setting, right? It's a listener setting, port 80 on protocol HTTP, and these two disable. If you remember, we just configure all that. This is our front end IP address. This is our listener. Listener on port 80 HTTP protocol and port 80. Rule 1 is associated with it. What is the rule 1? Here you find the rule 1. Rule 1 is all the things would go on the default port except the images containing URL will go to the images backend pool. So let's do the testing. Front end IP. Let's copy this IP and paste it. See, this is the default page. That was the default backend pool. And if we made it like images, and see, this is going on the images VM as per the URL based routing. So that's how the URL based routing works. And that's all the configuration we need to configure. It is not just like a load balancer we did, but it is a lot similar with many other features and facilities. Okay, this is the one way of configuring. You can also use multi-site, host-based, and WAF, and so many other features depend on your requirement. Okay, so that's all about it. Well, thank you for watching, and you have a good day. We'll start. The regional load balancer has been finished with the application gateway. However, there is so much in app gateway, so much to learn. There are different features, various features. I cannot cover each and everything in this series, but we did as much as we can. We may be covering a lot of features in the other deep dive series, but for now, regional load balancers are finished, and we'll be starting with the global load balancers like Traffic Manager and the front doors. Thanks for watching. You have a good day.